Initially, what used to happen is we thought that the large language models were reasoning on their own. If it didn't respond the way we thought it would respond, we kind of decided that it was hallucinating or not giving the right response. There's this great article that came out that OpenAI released, that how the O1 models now don't really need to be asked to do the chain of thought prompt. It'll do it better. Today, I'm going to talk about some really interesting things, which is the new models that ChatGPT have released, which is the O1 models. And a lot of people don't really know how to use the models with reasoning. I think firstly, there's a big gap between understanding the difference between search and information and intelligence. And the next gap of understanding is all this while we've been having large language models that have not had reasoning as part of its makeup. So today, I want to talk about learning to reason with large language models. Hey, it's Ronsley. Welcome, you AI geek, to Amplify AI. Welcome, everyone. So today, I kind of want to go into detail on what are the O1 models, what are the large language models that allow for reasoning, and why that reasoning is important. Because initially what used to happen is we thought that the large language models were reasoning on their own. So for example, if we would ask in a prompt and we would say, can you do X, Y, or Z? We assumed that it was doing thinking in the background and it would know exactly what we were thinking and it would respond. And if it didn't respond the way we thought it would respond, we kind of decided that it was hallucinating or not giving the right response. And then the better the models got, the more, I suppose, that those one-shot or zero-shot prompts got better and the outputs got better. But when you think about the differences in a few things, that as the models got better, so from GPT 3.5 and 4, we got to a point where we could actually ask the large language model to output its reasoning. So when it outputs its reasoning, it then used that reasoning as input. So what was happening earlier was it had to be very specific, and now I suppose it'll change. So today, I want to talk about learning to reason with large language models. Before we go anywhere, I think we'll start here. There's this great article that came out that OpenAI released. Now, if you don't know who OpenAI is the company that ChatGPT works under. So here's a very cool update on learning to reason with large language models. And when I started talking about how things have changed, I spoke about how we had to explicitly, prompting, talk about, can you think this through step by step and give me a reasoning, which is, chain of thought prompting, which I've spoken about a lot on the show here. In particular, if you watch any of my lives, or you've looked at any of the podcast episodes that have been released as well, this particular chain of thought prompting comes up a lot. And this is in particular now what you're seeing with OpenAI, and you're seeing this with the new O1 models. So what I'm going to do first is, like, for example, say you're in my position and you've come across this really cool article. It's a great article, and it'd take me not long to read, but I understand the gist, and I understand that what it's trying to say is how large language models have evolved and how now it's got reasoning. What I'm going to do first is just copy this, and then I am going to go into ChatGPT and open up a new chat. While it's opened up a new chat, I'm going to hit this search button and switch on search. And then I'm going to say, can you please read this and summarize? So I'm asking it to read that particular link. So what I'm doing right now is I'm checking the sources, because I want to make sure that it's actually gone and found the right sources. That's the first thing I want to do. The second thing is look at what the key takeaways are. So it's obviously what it's talking about is how the O1 models now don't really need to be asked to do the chain of thought prompt. It'll do it better. And that's the difference between the 4.0, I suppose, and the O1 models. So now I'm going to say, can you please give me a simple prompt to write an article using the news, then write a version which includes. So you see how this is a new feature of ChatGPT, by the way, where it gives you it's asking for feedback. So it's taken one prompt and it's kind of broken it down, and it says, okay, this response versus this response. I actually prefer the write and response. The simple prompt is write an article discussing the current applications and impact of artificial intelligence in business, referencing recent developments and news. Okay. And then the enhanced version is compose a comprehensive article in the current applications and impact. Structure the articles to include introductions, recent development, application, advanced techniques, case studies. I actually do prefer this response. So this is a prompt that I can use. So what if I copied this prompt and said, and this is for all. Okay, so I'm going to do this first version, which is with for all. So just the way it is, copy, paste, and then let's do, and here we'll just change the model to O1 preview, which is the advanced reasoning. So this is the big change, right? The different models that exist. So 4O is for certain things, and O1 models are for certain things. And obviously there's the legacy models of 4. So 4O mini, 4O, and 4O with Canvas, they're all similar models. The O1 preview and O1 mini models are for advanced reasoning. So let's do O1 preview. And with O1 preview, you do not get access to search or the internet, and you also don't get access to files. But what I am going to do is just copy and paste the recent developments. Now, what's going to happen is right now with the recent developments, it doesn't have access to the internet. So it's not going to give me the recent developments, which is kind of annoying. So let's execute this and see what the difference is going to be. And I'm going to take this one that we have here so you can see both sides of what's happening. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the difference, right? On the right-hand side, you have 4O that has access to the internet. And we put this prompt, which is compose a comprehensive article. And we gave the prompt, right, on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, we've used O1 preview, which is the latest large language model that has its own reasoning. And let's start with the one on the right, which is basically 4O. So it's taken my prompt and it's written an article. So it included the evolving role of artificial intelligence, AI applications, and then enhanced problem solving with chain of thought, included that, learning from mistakes, decomposing complex tasks for improved solution, overall impact, and a conclusion. And then it's written its thing. Now, on the left-hand side, it's done with the reasoning and advanced reasoning. So what it has done here is it first understood AI's influence, then it navigated some policy guidelines, and then it examined AI applications, and it thought for 6 seconds, and then it wrote the article. So, I don't really see the difference, because I would have loved that it had access to the internet. I would have loved to have sources, up-to-date information, which is not really up-to-date information. So it's taken the same thing and broken it down and done chain of thought prompting. Again, just feels like a more relevant and thought applied process to the left-hand side versus the right-hand side. I suppose that's the big difference between reasoning models versus these models. Now, why this is important, I suppose, is you understand the thought process that has gone into the background. And here, it's kind of just written the thing, even though it's kind of negligible, the difference between each one of these. I do see that this article on the left-hand side is way better than the one on the right-hand side, just the way I'm seeing it. All right. So that's one thing I found super interesting. But in the news, there is some really interesting news. And let's go here. This is the article, and benefits the most as ChatGPT turns 2. Now, the reason that this is an important sort of conversation is if all the tech giants are one type of company or type of entity or type of person or whatever, and all of them have actually they're getting from AI that is that ethical in nature. As ChatGPT turns 2, big tech has gained over $8 trillion in market value, raising concerns about wealth concentration and the need for startups to thrive amid AI advancements. And now this is important because as billions flow to big tech, from AI advancements, the risk of monopolization poses significant challenges for startups hoping to compete. Now, if you think about who's involved here, you can see on the left-hand side of my screen, Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet. Those are the ones basically that are in the AI race, and they're the ones making the most, I suppose, out of what's happening in AI right now. So again, you just kind of want to know what's happening in this space. And what I found interesting is that while we're just worried about where our data is going, we are very freely giving our data to these people, especially if you're on Facebook. I think privacy is going to be an interesting thing going forward, and with how that's going to impact us, I think it might be a thing of the past, because I already say some things and my phone picks it up and I get ads about it, even though I've tried to switch all my microphones off when it comes to, what the phone can actually listen. Something to worry about, something to think about. But one of the things that I think is also another thing to look at is this agents and how quickly agents are becoming a thing. So I'm going to copy this. What's happening on the right-hand side is, this is my news reporter. It automatically finds relevant news regularly and puts it in my database for me to, check out. And basically what you need to know is that agents are coming. If you don't know what an agent is it's full access to thinking and different AIs to do the work. What I mean by that is, if you think about you wanting to, say a business, for example, wants to post on social media. Now there's a bunch of steps that have to happen for that post to happen or go live on social media in an ideal world, which is, you want the post to be relevant. You want it to be written. You want it in the tone of the person. You want it to be approved. You want the right media to go along with the copy, and then you want it to be posted. So it's not just post on social media. There's a bunch of different things happening. So at each step, if you give it to an agent, for example, an agent will take that and automatically create AIs needed to execute that. So rather than you say, can you write the copy and make it my voice, and can you write it based on current news, and if you go down that whole list, rather than do that, you just say, I want to write a post on social media. The agent will take that away and create an AI to write the copy. And it'll also create an AI to check whether what this copywriting AI has created, whether it passes the test. So it'll create agents and it'll create AIs. The agent is very agentic in nature, in the sense that it will go and execute and create the relevant AIs it needs to execute the task in the best possible manner. So understanding how that works is, that's coming very quickly. For you, understanding this particular news article, too long, don't read. Agentic AI predicted by Gartner is to grow in enterprise software, enhances autonomous decision-making, but introduces new cybersecurity risks that organizations must manage through proper education and monitoring strategies. Because one of the hardest things right now is the advantage of large language models, as well as the disadvantage of large language models, which we are calling hallucinations, which are not really hallucinations, but it is the advantage and disadvantage of large language models when it comes to doing advanced reasoning in particular. So we're not there yet with where LLMs are. But however, if you use LLMs in conjunction with code and software and logic, then you can have the best of both worlds. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all develops and how this goes down. That was interesting because I promised my team I was going to do a live every day. Now, how often I've gotten to do that, I've not gotten to 5 lives a week yet. I've gotten to 2 or 3 at the most. And I hope to catch you on the live. Now, if you don't know, I've got a whole bunch of very specific business use cases that you can check out on the Amplify AI podcast. You'll find it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify. But YouTube is most up to date, and watch the videos because they're very short and they're very to the point, and it'll give you a use case that you can take away and do right now in your business. So if you're a business founder or a leader that reports to a business founder, you get immense value out of that. So go check that out. Also on the website, there are these like 10 insane prompts that you can use and add to your list that will improve every other prompt that you currently have. So there are 10 super prompts. So go check that out, amplifyais.com. And until next time, I will see you on another live. Much, much love. Hey, AI Geek. Thanks for listening. Your job doesn't stop here. I want you to lend your voice to the conversation. So you can join those conversations, discussions, new trainings, new recordings, and the rest of the AI Geeks by going to aigeeks.co. Also, share this podcast with a friend, another potential AI geek. Until then, much love.